Out here, in the delicate balance of the wild, survival is never guaranteed. Every breath, every step is shaped by unseen danger. Among the rustling grass and shifting shadows, predators move with purpose, driven by hunger, guided by instinct, and refined by generations of evolution. For the smallest animals, life is a constant gamble. Their world is filled with warning signs, a sudden silence, a flicker of movement, the sound of paws pressing softly into the earth. One moment of hesitation is enough to seal their fate. Then, without warning, the hunt begins. Muscles explode into motion as predators unleash their speed and precision. Claws slash through the air, jaws snap shut with deadly accuracy. What was once a peaceful scene becomes a desperate struggle, where escape is measured in heartbeats and survival hangs on a single decision. Yet this is not cruelty, it is nature's design. Each attack is part of an ancient cycle that shapes the lives of hunter and hunted alike. In this unforgiving world, only the alert endure, only the swift survive, and every encounter leaves its mark on the story of the wild. The African sun shows no mercy. Day after day, it strips the land of life, burning away every trace of green. The rivers vanish, the soil cracks, and thirst becomes the deadliest enemy of all. In this unforgiving season, survival is a brutal contest. Predators stalk with desperate hunger, while prey take impossible risks for a single sip. Every step toward water could mean salvation or sudden death. This is the final lifeline of the dry season, where over 90% of all life converges. During the dry season, the savanna shrinks around its last precious waterholes. Daytime temperatures soar beyond 35 degrees. The heat presses down like a weight. A giraffe lowers its towering neck, nearly 2 meters long, to drink. Every movement is slow, but never careless. Danger lurks beneath the surface. The Nile crocodile waits, motionless for hours, ready to strike at the smallest mistake. Nearby, a hippopotamus bares its massive jaws. With a crushing bite force of over 17,000 newtons, it defends its territory with brutal authority. Above, the African fish eagle circles high. The instant a shadow betrays a fish below, it dives. On land, the spotted hyena lingers, patient and calculating, ready to close in on any weary wanderer. Every creature here comes with a plan of its own, because in the savanna, these water holes are more than just pools of water. They are the razor's edge between survival and loss. They set the rhythm of life itself. Then suddenly, a water hole appears, a beacon of hope in a barren world. Here, a dazzling gathering unfolds. Elephants, zebras, giraffes, impalas, even elusive night wanderers like the black rhinoceros. Together, they create a vivid dance of life against the harshest odds. Water holes can form naturally or be created by human hands. Some appear in low-lying depressions, others along dry riverbeds where rare rains or underground springs leave their mark. Sometimes it is the elephants themselves who shape them, digging into the earth with sheer strength, carving out mineral-rich pits that grow over years into lifelines for countless species. Across Africa, national parks and wildlife reserves have built artificial waterholes, ensuring animals don't have to risk deadly journeys during the brutal dry season. At Kruger National Park in South Africa, by the 1980s, hundreds of borehole-fed sites and reservoirs were created. The goal, to protect rare antelope and to guide the movements of great herds of buffalo and giraffe. Meanwhile, in Namibia's Etosha National Park, a vast land of salt pans and dust, the balance is carefully maintained. In the east, nearly 30 natural waterholes quench life. In the drier west, just 5 remain, supplemented by more than 27 man-made pools. Some of Etosha's waterholes, Okokwejo, Jumsbokvlakte, Halali, are not just gathering places for wildlife. They are icons. Lit at night, they offer a rare magical sight, the silence of the dark, broken only by the quiet steps of animals, emerging under a sky full of stars to drink from the savanna's last drops. As the first light breaks, between 5:30 and 7 in the morning, the savanna breathes a rare moment of cool relief. During the dry season, in places like the Serengeti and the Okavango, temperatures dip to just 14 to 20 degrees Celsius. The air is still, the ground has yet to heat, and the water at the holes lies crystal clear, untouched, undisturbed. This fragile hour belongs to the cautious. Small herbivores arrive early, seizing their chance before predators stir. They move like shadows, alert, precise, never lingering. A few sips, then they vanish back into cover. Every step calculated, every second measured. Among the first to appear, the springbok. They never come alone. Sometimes just a handful, sometimes dozens, each keeping distance to avoid a trap, yet close enough to share warnings with the flick of an ear, a glance, a sudden jolt. When they lower their heads, it is for mere seconds. Then heads up, ears stiff, muscles coiled. At the faintest hint of danger, the entire herd explodes into motion, vanishing like a gust of wind. And when agitated, the springbok put on a display unlike any other, leaping 2 to 3 meters into the air, backs arched, the white stripe of fur along their spine, flashing like a signal fire. This dramatic leap, pronking, is more than acrobatics. To predators it declares, "I see you." To fellow springbok it is communication, a warning, a surge of emotion, or even a display of strength, both social and biological. Every movement is calculated, nothing wasted. Footage from hidden cameras reveals they spend only moments at the waterhole, unlike zebras who linger far longer. This brevity is their shield. By minimizing risk, they reduce the chance of ambush, a survival strategy carved by evolution and sharpened by intelligence. In the savannah, even a single drink of water is a gamble with life and death. In Zimbabwe's Hwange National Park, studies reveal how the presence of lions reshapes the behavior of herbivores. Buffalo, giraffe, kudu all keep their distance from waterholes when the pride is near, especially after dark. Thirst must wait, for a single mistake could mean death. But another predator stalks these same edges, one that hunts alone. Not with speed like the cheetah, nor in numbers like the lion. The leopard. Moving silently through the tall grass, it slips between shadow and moonlight, the perfect veil for an ambush. It pauses for a quiet drink, then ascends into the branches, where its power is revealed. The leopard is no sprinter. Instead, it is a climber, gripping bark with razor claws, launching itself up to 6 meters in a single bound. Its golden eyes burn in the dark, amplified by the tapetum lucidum, nature's night vision. Monkeys stir, but their daylight eyes cannot pierce the gloom. A rustle, then silence. Panic erupts too late. The hunter descends with its midnight prize, vanishing into the brush. Leopards avoid waterholes for themselves, wary of exposure. Yet for prey, these shrinking pools are irresistible traps. Impalas, bushbucks, warthogs, all will come when thirst overpowers caution. All risk becoming a meal for the master of stealth. Patience defines the leopard. It can wait minutes for a single step closer, measuring every sound, every shift of wind, until the strike is certain. Then it launches, 60 kilometers per hour in a short burst, jaws clamping on throat or spine. What sets it apart is not only the kill, but the aftermath. With sheer strength, it drags its catch, sometimes heavier than itself, into the treetops. Here, lions, hyenas, and wild dogs cannot follow. Only the leopard feasts, alone, in silence. Adaptability is its secret. From forests to deserts, it eats almost anything. Birds, fish, antelope, even insects. In the Kalahari's arid edges, it can live off the moisture of prey. This flexibility has made it one of Africa's most enduring hunters. Yet even the phantom is under siege. Once spread across Africa and Asia, the leopard has vanished from 13 countries, pushed toward extinction in 7 more. Today, it survives in just a fraction of its former range. Strongholds in Tanzania, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. Tanzania holds the most, up to 10,000, haunting the Serengeti and Ngorongoro. But survival is not guaranteed. Lions kill nearly a quarter of leopards in some regions. Hyenas steal almost half their kills. Only when prey hangs in the treetops is the balance restored. The leopard remains the phantom of the savannah, elusive, adaptable, and endlessly patient, an apex predator caught between survival and decline. But rest is never safety. The shadows of spotted hyenas spread across the land, patient and cunning, guarding choke points along the herd's path. From July to October, as weakened wildebeest emerge from the rivers, the hyenas are waiting. The youngest and weakest fall behind, struggling to keep pace. In those brief moments of separation, the hunters strike, and the circle of life continues. On the open plains of the Masai Mara, the sun begins to fade, and then it starts. That eerie, chilling laughter. Spotted hyenas calling the clan together. They've spotted an opportunity. A young blue wildebeest, fresh from a brutal river crossing, is exhausted and vulnerable. Hyenas are perfectly built for moments like this. Their eyesight picks up movement even in dim light, and their noses, they can track the scent of prey from over 4 kilometers away. In an instant, the chase is on. With legs built for power, they explode forward, hitting speeds of nearly 60 kilometers per hour. But here's the difference. Hyenas don't hunt alone. The clan spreads out like a net. Some press from behind, others cut off escape ahead, while a few move in from the sides. This isn't luck. It's a strategy shaped by thousands of years of evolution. When they close in, it's over fast. Jaws, with one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, snap down, 4,500 newtons of pressure, locking onto the wildebeest's legs or belly. And here's the truth. Despite their reputation as scavengers, up to 95% of what hyenas eat comes from their own hunts. Even when carcasses scatter the savanna after failed river crossings, once lions and vultures have taken the easy pickings, hyenas finish the job. They crush every last bone, even digesting the dense marrow no other predator can reach. That makes them more than just hunters. They're nature's cleanup crew, reducing disease, recycling nutrients, and keeping the ecosystem alive and healthy. Love them or fear them, the hyena is one of Africa's most underestimated predators. Unlike lions or hyenas, cheetahs don't trail the migration in a predictable way. Instead, they adjust their hunting grounds, shifting with the flow of prey. When wildebeest flood the western Serengeti, cheetahs may drift south, targeting the stragglers. When the herds push into the Masai Mara, the cats follow open ground in search of their favorite target, the Thompson's gazelle. And here, success comes more often than not. A cheetah's strike on a Tommy succeeds about 58% of the time, far higher than lions or leopards. But even so, the odds aren't perfect. If the gazelle reacts fast enough, or if the chase stretches too long, the cheetah's stamina fails. Now, under the blazing skies of the Mara, the gazelles scatter across the plain, their slender frames quivering in the heat. Hidden low in the golden grass, a cheetah crouches, its body sleek, muscles flowing like liquid energy. Black tear lines cut down its face, shielding its vision from the glare. Its gaze locks onto a young gazelle, just a few steps too far from its mother. The cat creeps forward, using ridges in the earth and the wind in its favor, closing the gap to just 40 meters. And then explosion. The spine uncoils, semi-retractable claws rip into the soil, and the cheetah rockets forward, 0 to 97 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds. Faster than a sports car. But for the cheetah, victory is fleeting. Built for speed, not strength, it cannot defend its kill. Lions and hyenas are always listening, always closing in. The cheetah has 10, maybe 15 minutes to eat before it risks losing everything. So it eats fast, then abandons the carcass. Not weakness, but survival strategy. Energy conserved, life preserved. Another hunt awaits. This is the law of the Great Migration. Massive herds, pursued by predators. The strong push forward, the weak fall behind. But even in death, nothing is wasted. The plains recycle their sacrifice, feeding others, nourishing the land itself. In Kenya's Masai Mara, the golden sun stretches across endless grasslands, casting long shadows over the swaying blades. The air is thick with an unspoken tension, tranquility masking the ever-present struggle for survival. Hidden within the tall grass, a lion lies in wait, its muscular frame poised like a coiled spring. Its tawny coat blends seamlessly with the dry earth, rendering it nearly invisible to unsuspecting prey. Every muscle is taut with anticipation, every movement calculated. Its piercing gaze is locked onto a zebra, grazing just beyond the brush, unaware that the balance of life and death is about to tip. The zebra, however, is no easy target. Its bold black and white stripes serve more than an aesthetic purpose. They create an optical illusion that confuses a predator's depth perception. Its ears flick at the slightest sound, sensing the rustle of disturbed grass. Then, in an instant, instinct takes over. The zebra knows danger is near. With explosive power, the lion lodges itself forward, tearing across the savanna at nearly 50 miles per hour. But the zebra is already in motion. In a dazzling display of agility, it pivots sharply, dodging the ambush with split-second precision. As the lion lunges, the zebra unleashes its ultimate defense, a devastating backward kick. Though the strike misses its mark, the sheer force disrupts the lion's momentum, buying the zebra precious moments to escape. According to African zoological research, the zebra's bone and muscle structure is engineered for survival. Its powerful legs can withstand immense impact, allowing it to kick with enough force to break a predator's jaw or even kill a lion outright. This anatomical advantage enables zebras to fight back without injuring themselves, a crucial adaptation in a land where second chances are rare. Beyond their individual strength, zebras rely on unity. When a predator approaches, the herd forms a protective circle around its young, transforming into a living fortress. This strategic defense greatly reduces the success rate of ambush predators like lions, leopards, and cheetahs. In the unforgiving savanna, where every watering hole is a battlefield and every shadow holds a threat, survival is not just about speed. It's about resilience, intelligence, and the unbreakable will to fight. Every kick is a statement. Every escape is a testament to the zebra's indomitable spirit. For millions of years, these striking creatures have defied the savanna's most fearsome hunters, proving time and again that they are far more than just prey. The African savanna in the dry season is an unforgiving furnace, where the relentless heat bakes the earth until it cracks, splitting open like parched riverbeds. Trees, once lush, now stand as skeletal reminders of life, their barren branches clawing at the sky. With water scarce and prey dwindling, the land transforms into a battleground where only the strongest survive. For the lions and hyenas, hunger drives their every move. Their sharpened instincts tell them that desperation can turn even the mightiest prey into an opportunity. But not all prey comes easy. Among the towering grass and fading shadows, a formidable giant stands its ground, the giraffe. Despite its elegant, towering frame, the giraffe is far from defenseless. It does not rely solely on its height to spot approaching predators. Instead, it wields one of the savanna's most devastating weapons, its powerful legs. Each limb, stretching up to 6 feet long, is an evolutionary masterpiece of bone and muscle, capable of delivering a bone-shattering kick with the force of 2,000 pounds, enough to break a lion's jaw or even end its life in a single well-placed strike. Unlike panicked prey that scatter in fear, the giraffe remains composed. It watches, it waits, it calculates the perfect moment to retaliate. Like a seasoned warrior anticipating its enemy's weakness, it strikes with deadly precision. A single kick can send a predator tumbling, crushing ribs or hurling the attacker backward with staggering force. Millions of years of evolution have shaped the giraffe's defenses, refining its ability to withstand pressure without injury. According to studies in mammalian anatomy, its skeletal system is built to endure immense stress, allowing it to unleash its full power without self-harm, a rare advantage in the animal kingdom. Even when surrounded by a pride of lions, a giraffe has a fighting chance. Its ability to pivot and strike in rapid succession creates enough disruption to escape. And if retreat is the better option, it can gallop away at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, its long legs covering vast distances while its pursuers tire in the relentless heat. But when flight is no longer an option, the giraffe makes its stand. If a lioness dares to launch an ambush, the counterattack is swift and brutal. A thunderous kick lands with the force of a sledgehammer, sending the attacker reeling. Stomps follow, the ground trembling beneath the sheer might of the blows. Faced with an adversary that refuses to be an easy meal, the pride is forced to retreat, abandoning their once promising hunt. In a land where survival is dictated by strength and strategy, the giraffe proves that power isn't always found in fangs or claws. Even in the face of the harshest elements, even when the sun scorches the earth and the hunters grow bold, the giraffe stands defiant. It is not just prey, it is a force to be reckoned with. The African savanna is a relentless battleground where survival is earned through speed, strength, and strategy. Herbivores are not just prey, they are warriors in their own right, armed with razor-sharp tusks, imposing horns, and an instinctual will to fight back. With food and water scarce beneath the unforgiving sun, these creatures don't always run. Sometimes they turn and face their hunters, forcing predators to reconsider their role in the chase. Among these unlikely fighters, the warthog stands as a fierce and determined adversary. Though small compared to its foes, this tenacious creature is built for survival. With stocky muscles and deadly curved tusks, it is more than capable of defending itself. A charging warthog can reach speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, an impressive burst that often turns a hunter into the hunted. Even in the jaws of a predator, the warthog doesn't surrender. Weighing up to 250 pounds, it possesses remarkable strength, enough to thrash and wrestle its way out of a lion's grip or the crushing bite of a crocodile. But its most astonishing defense is not just its power, it is its awareness. A vast flat plain stretching over 5,700 square miles, it is the birthplace of one of the greatest epics the planet has ever witnessed. This is the heart of the Great Migration, a natural phenomenon that has echoed for millions of years, etched into every shift of the land and every breath of the climate, like an endless symphony of life. Cheetah. The lifeblood of countless species begins. Around 2 million years ago, the arrival of the blue wildebeest, zebra, and gazelle laid the foundation for a one-of-a-kind ecosystem. On the Serengeti, the eternal cycle of life was set in motion. When the rains return, green shoots burst from the soil, summoning the great herds to march. And when the dry season scorches the land, the parched earth becomes a call to leave, driving millions onward in search of new promised pastures. According to scientific research in 2023, the Great Migration began some 1.7 million years ago during the Pleistocene epoch, a time when Earth was both unforgiving and nurturing. Since then, nature has forged a survival cycle essential to the savanna, a timeless rhythm that humankind today can only observe from afar in awe and wonder. Since the 1970s, relentless conservation efforts have slowly brought stability back to the herds. Their numbers began to recover, and the grand story of life continued to unfold, stretching from the distant past into the present. From ancient footsteps to new ones, they press forward across the endless plains. When the rainy season fades, the green mantle of the grasslands withers away. The searing sun scorches the ground, blades of grass shriveling, no longer able to sustain an ocean of life. In that fragile moment, instinct compels the herds to move. But the Great Migration is more than a quest for food. It is a symbol of unity, countless small, fragile creatures standing before nature's vast grandeur. Herd after herd, they converge into a colossal force, advancing like a roaring river. In their steps, life finds protection. The weak are shielded. Leaders carve the path for those who follow. Together, they become an unstoppable strength. Each pounding hoof echoes like nature's drum, lifting dust and stirring the air. The herds transform into a living wave, a majestic dance of survival. And within every stride, within every breathless gasp, lies a fierce contest with nature itself, a place where life and death march side by side, where hope and hardship weave together into a raw, mighty, unyielding portrait upon one of Earth's harshest lands. The timing of the Great Migration across the African savanna follows no fixed schedule. It is a journey guided by the sky, the land, and pure instinct. The wildebeest do not count the days. They listen to the call of the wind, the rain, and the tender green shoots rising from the earth. The harsh, unpredictable climate of the African plains becomes the invisible hand that maps their endless route, an unceasing journey where life and hardship merge in nature's relentless dance. When the brief rains arrive between December and March, the Serengeti awakens. The first drops fall like liquid life, stirring the dry earth and summoning lush pastures bursting with vitality. According to the Tanzania Meteorological Authority in 2023, an average rainfall of 4 to 12 inches per month transforms the plains into a vast sea of green, a grand feast for millions of new mothers. The grasses of the Serengeti not only sustain life, but form the foundation of an entire ecosystem. Species like Themata triandra and Panicida mezianum flourish with the rains, becoming the lifeline of countless grazers. The Tanzania Wildlife Research Institute reported in 2023 that the mild climate of 20 to 26 degrees Celsius and the lush grasslands create ideal conditions for reproduction. a miraculous cycle where life bursts forth in perfect rhythm with nature. At this time, Dutu, the southern reaches of the Serengeti, comes alive, draped in an endless green mantle. This is the cradle of life, where hundreds of thousands of blue wildebeest gather. Standing 1.22 to 1.5 meters tall and weighing up to 290 kilograms, the wildebeest transform the plains into a living ocean. Within weeks, more than 500,000 calves are born, a magnificent and strategic event known as predator swamping. With so many newborns arriving at once, predators like lions, hyenas, and cheetahs cannot possibly consume them all. They are forced to accept the overwhelming tide. Yet here, there is no room for delay. Just minutes after birth, calves weighing around 18 kilograms must stand. Within hours, they must run, an instinctive race for survival against the predator's claws. Nourished by their mother's rich milk, they grow quickly, reaching speeds of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour within weeks, nearly matching the adults. But the wildebeest, the backbone of the Great Migration, are never free from danger. Lions, hyenas, African wild dogs, and cheetahs stalk their every move. But they are not alone. The power of the herd is their greatest weapon. Thousands packed tightly together, flowing like a living river, leaving predators struggling to single out a target. Adult males form a defensive wall, their sharp curved horns guarding the fragile young. Zebras too converge on Dutu. Although they can breed year-round, the rains give them a powerful advantage. Each adult, standing around 1.2 meters tall and weighing 350 to 450 kilograms, moves in large groups. Their hoofbeats pound across the savanna like an endless drum. Masters of adaptation, they graze even on coarse dry grasses other animals leave behind, roaming dozens of kilometers in search of water. After 12 to 13 months of pregnancy, foals weighing about 32 kilograms are born, and within just 20 to 30 minutes, they must stand and run with the herd. With powerful kicks and a fierce sense of unity, zebras fight back under the leadership of a dominant stallion. Along the Grumeti and deep in the rugged Singida region, lions turn the land itself into a trap. Dense thickets, broken riverbanks, scattered woodland, natural fortresses, perfect for ambush. Lionesses lie silent, invisible, waiting for the weary to make one fatal step toward water. Then, in a flash, they strike. A burst of fury, a lethal pounce, a kill written in muscle and precision. But lions aren't the only threat. In the shadows, another predator prowls. The leopard, a solitary assassin, a master of stealth, blending seamlessly into the Serengeti's patchy forests and tangled undergrowth. Its rosettes vanish into the vegetation. A leopard can wait motionless for hours, poised for the moment a young zebra or a Thompson's gazelle strays too far. During the mating season, when dominant males are consumed with fighting for territory, herds scatter more easily than ever. With rippling muscles and unrivaled climbing skill, leopards maneuver through rugged terrain, then launch from a tree or burst from tall grass in a flash attack. It's all over in seconds, before the herd even realizes what happened. Data from 2024 shows leopards succeed in 50 to 60% of these surprise strikes, a chilling reminder of their deadly efficiency. And then, carried on the wind, comes the eerie laughter of hyenas. If lions are organized warriors and leopards are solitary killers, hyenas are opportunistic marauders with terrifying pack strategy. Their clans are highly structured, each member with a role to play. When the herds splinter, the young, the weak, the isolated become easy targets. Hyenas aren't just hunters, they're expert thieves. They trail lions and leopards, waiting until the kill is made, but not yet eaten, then swarm in to overwhelm and steal the prize. Unlike big cats who rely on swift precision, hyenas wage wars of attrition, circling, chasing, wearing prey down until it collapses in exhaustion. But Masai Mara is no safe haven. It is both paradise and battleground. The abundance of prey fuels a thriving predator population. The legendary Big Five, lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo, and rhinoceros roam here. And at the top of it all, the lions. In prides like the famed Marsh Pride, they dominate the land, exploiting the herd's arrival to feast. Small prey may fall to a single lioness, but larger quarry, buffalo, or even young elephants demand a coordinated strike from the entire pride. Masai Mara becomes a stage for some of the most spectacular hunts on Earth. Entire prides hurl themselves at prey weighing tons, while thousands of wildebeests and zebras continue their endless march, knowing that tomorrow will bring another battle. As dusk settles over the grasslands, the Masai Mara sheds its skin. Honey gold fades into a deep indigo sea. This is when the lions take the throne. Their eyes, cold twin stars, slice through the dark. Hunting success soars when night becomes an ally. After days on the move, wildebeests and zebras are spent. One wrong turn, one ragged breath, and the herd's formation breaks. Lions aren't just hunters. They are guardians of ecological order. When lion numbers rise, pressure on grazers rises with them. The grasslands aren't shaved to the root. They get time to recover, to sprout anew. Paradoxically, a lion's fangs act like a comb that keeps the entire ecosystem smooth. A healthy Mara depends on that balance. Plenty of prey, but never beyond what the plains can heal. At the woodland edge and along the riverbanks, leopards glide like ghosts, masters of absence. The less seen, the more they win. They live alone, quietly measuring distance, wind, and a prey's breathing. The Mara's varied vegetation grants them 1,000 curtains, tall grass, thorny acacias, brooding rock outcrops. A leopard's menu is a nimble symphony. From rabbits and birds to impala and gazelles, they creep, then burst, ending the chase in a single beat. Night hunts ease daytime pressure on prey and indirectly help pace the grass's recovery. With a success rate around 38%, leopards rank among the savanna's most efficient killers. Not as loud as lions, not as dazzling as cheetahs, but tireless, precise, never wasting a move. African savanna elephants stride like bold strokes across the Mara's endless page. Adult bulls rise more than 10 feet at the shoulder and can weigh over 6 tons. Females are lighter, both carry memories as deep as flood-swollen rivers, ancestral trails, hidden waterholes, grasslands reborn, passed down like living maps. Elephants are the architects of the savanna. They topple shrubs, opening skylights that let new grass surge. They dig for water in drought, leaving small wells for countless creatures to drink from. Consuming over 300 pounds of vegetation a day, they reshape the land, creating space for impalas, gazelles, hares, corridors for wandering herds, and clear lanes for the chases of predators. Stand in the wind-swept Mara night, and you might feel the sky settle onto an elephant's broad back, nature writing its story in slow, steady steps. Buffalo, by contrast, are a manifesto of power. Curved horns, a helmet-thick boss, a moving fortress. Bulls weigh up to a ton, stand 4 to 5 feet tall, and carry a steel-cold spirit across their brows. They travel in blocks of hundreds, a foe that even lions must weigh carefully. In danger, the herd counterattacks with precision, turning, forming walls, shielding their calves. Field studies show that lion success against large buffalo herds sinks to barely 10 to 15%, not because lions are weak, but because buffalo unity turns individuals into links and the herd into a hammer. Within the Big Five, rhinos are the somber chapter. In the Mara roam black rhinos, smaller, wary, volatile, and white rhinos, larger and more common farther south. Both leave their signature prints on the grass. The black rhino, weighing up to 3,000 pounds with horns stretching nearly 5 feet, carries a cruel fate. The stronger it stands, the bigger the target it becomes. Only an estimated 30 to 40 remain in the Mara, an alarm bell for the world. Poaching and the black market turn a single horn, just a body part, into the excuse for tragedy. And so, on moonless nights, patrol teams head out once more. Every step a vow. Without rhinos, the Big Five is broken, and the Mara loses a piece of its soul. From July to October, the grasslands shift their tone. The Great Migration pours over the Mara River like a storm of bone and flesh. Daily crossings erupt, sometimes a few dozen, sometimes 10,000. Hurling themselves into the current, the riverbanks thunder like war. Below, Nile crocodiles hold their breath. Above, lions and hyenas crouch. It is brutal, and yet it renews the system. Mass grazing kickstarts fresh growth. Pounding hooves spread seeds, till the soil. Dung enriches the earth, drawing insects, birds, and the predators that follow. Where herds of giants march in endless lines, shadows follow, predators stalk every step. In an instant, the vast grassland transforms into a brutal battleground for survival. Here, millions face hunger, thirst, exhaustion, and the relentless jaws that pursue them. Where are you watching from? Leave a comment and step with us into the Serengeti, battle for survival in predator territory. Serengeti is the starting point of the Great Migration, one of Africa's 7 greatest natural wonders. From swift predators to resilient prey, every creature becomes a vital brushstroke in nature's living masterpiece. The thunder of hooves rolls across the plains, driving both hunter and hunted into a relentless fight for survival. Leopards stalk with absolute patience, hauling their kills high into the trees, far above the reach of lions and hyenas. In another battlefield, cheetahs strike like arrows, lightning quick, decisive. But their victories are fragile. A kill won can be stolen in moments. Meanwhile, lions seize the chaos, closing in as wildebeest and zebras funnel into narrow paths where escape routes vanish. A chase ignites. Only the strong endure. The weak fall behind. The African oryx is a living testament to survival. Armed with nature's perfect defense, its long, lethal horns. More than mere adornments, these sharp, elongated weapons are a battle-forged shield, honed for both deterrence and deadly precision. In the unforgiving savanna, where the sun scorches the earth and predators lurk in every shadow, the oryx refuses to be easy prey. Facing formidable hunters like lions and hyenas, this striking antelope doesn't just rely on speed or evasion. It stands its ground, wielding its horns, up to 40 inches of piercing power with remarkable skill. These twin blades can slice through thick hide and muscle, making even the fiercest predators think twice before attacking. Under the blistering midday sun, the air shimmers with heat as two lionesses prowl forward, their bodies low to the ground, muscles coiled with tension. Their eyes lock onto their target, an oryx, its horns glinting like twin sabers. With silent precision, they creep through the sparse brush, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Then, in a sudden explosion of power, they charge, accelerating to nearly 50 miles per hour in a blur of muscle and dust. But the oryx is no easy kill. In the heartbeat before impact, instinct takes over. With a lightning-fast turn, it lowers its head and drives its razor-sharp horns forward. A single well-placed thrust can puncture a predator's body, leaving it wounded or worse. Even against a pack, the oryx fights with strategic precision, its horns slashing in both horizontal and vertical arcs, making every lunge a potential death blow. In a world where survival is a brutal contest of speed, strength, and strategy, the oryx has perfected the art of defense. Its lethal counterattacks have earned it one of the highest survival rates among prey animals, proving that in the wild, the right weapons and the will to use them can mean the difference between life and death. For centuries, the spotted hyena carried a reputation as little more than a scavenger. But modern research reveals a different truth. Up to 95% of its diet comes not from stealing, but from its own hunts. Wildebeest, buffalo calves, even the swift Thompson's gazelle can fall, not because they are weak, but because the hyena's strategy is relentless. Unlike lions or cheetahs, which rely on bursts of speed and sudden ambush, the spotted hyena is built for endurance. With massive hearts, dense muscle, and powerful hind legs, it can maintain a punishing pace of 60 kilometers an hour, long after most prey has begun to falter. The hunt is not a sprint. It is a war of attrition. Hyenas take turns leading, refusing to let their quarry rest. When exhaustion sets in, the clan closes its circle, blocking, flanking, overwhelming. Once the collapse comes, chaos erupts. Dozens of voices rise in a storm of cackles and growls. Within half an hour, a zebra's remains can be stripped down to nothing but scattered bone. And even bone is no refuge. With jaws delivering up to 4,500 newtons of force, the strongest of any land mammal, hyenas crack through the toughest marrow. Nothing is wasted. Around waterholes, where zebras, impalas, wildebeest, and kudu gather under the cover of night, hyenas don't hide. They pressure their prey as a unit, splitting into flanking groups, communicating with eerie laughs and whoops, coded signals in the dark. This precision comes from their society. Hyenas live in clans that can number up to 80, ruled not by males, but by dominant females. Larger, heavier, and hormonally primed with testosterone-like compounds, females enforce a strict matrilineal order. Their unusual anatomy even mirrors that of males, confounding early naturalists and shaping a uniquely female-dominated hierarchy. In large numbers, hyenas challenge any rival, even lions. Clans hold territories that stretch across hundreds of square kilometers, patrolling with scent marks, calls, and social alliances. Some individuals leave to found new groups, while others remain, reinforcing bonds in a web of complex interactions, rivaling primates. Adaptability is their key to survival. Hyenas eat almost anything: small mammals, birds, reptiles, insects, even human waste in villages. They endure deserts, high-altitude plateaus above 4,000 meters, woodlands and grasslands alike. In arid zones, they may travel dozens of kilometers in a single night to reach water, then wait for the perfect moment to strike. But they are not only predators. By consuming carrion, hyenas cleanse the landscape of disease. By thinning herbivore herds, they shape grazing patterns, which in turn shapes vegetation and even the survival of other carnivores. In the African hierarchy of predators, lions dominate with strength, leopards with stealth. The spotted hyena rules through unity, endurance, and an unrivaled ability to seize every opportunity the wild provides. As night descends upon the savanna, darkness swallows the land. The waterholes shimmer faintly under the cold glow of the moon. Out of the silence, lions begin to stir. They do not march directly to the water's edge. Instead, they melt into the tall grasses and earthen mounds, waiting, patient and unseen, every shadow, every breath of wind concealing their presence. Lions are the only great cats to live and hunt as one, bound together in social groups known as prides. United, they can topple prey weighing hundreds of kilograms: wildebeest, zebra, even the formidable African buffalo. On rare and desperate occasions, they dare to charge at giants. Tonight, in the heart of a drying waterhole, a black rhino thrashes in despair. Trapped in the grip of thick, suffocating mud, its massive body weighs it down. Twin horns sweep wildly, cutting the air, but each struggle only sinks it deeper. From the shadows, 3 golden shapes emerge: lionesses, the seasoned huntresses of the pride. Among lions, the hunt belongs to the females. Nearly 90% of kills are claimed by them. Their bodies are sculpted for bursts of sheer explosive speed, capable of sprinting up to 80 kilometers per hour, though only for a heartbeat. Now, that lethal power converges upon the trapped giant. The rhino bellows, a rasping roar that echoes into the night. A beast of up to 1,400 kilograms, reduced to a prisoner of mud. One lioness lunges, sinking her teeth into its flank, but the rhino's armor, nearly 5 centimeters thick, holds strong. With a violent surge of strength, it tears free and charges. The hunters scatter. Tonight, the giant escapes. Such failures are rare. Lions more often target antelope and grazers drawn to the water's edge. Their hunts unfold with ruthless precision. A few circle silently behind the herd, herding prey into the waiting jaws of their companions. Flattened to the earth, golden coats blend seamlessly into dust and shadow. Then, in an instant, the trap springs. A single leap, a strike of claws, and the savanna quakes beneath their power. Yet the hunt is only the beginning. When the kill is made, the male takes his due first, asserting dominance as he guards the feast from thieves like the spotted hyena. His other duty, patrolling the boundaries of the pride, safeguarding the precious water holes that mean life or death in the dry season. From zebra to wildebeest, buffalo to warthog, The lion's appetite echoes their reign at the very top of the food chain. Even young giraffes or the frail are not spared, and what the lions leave behind does not go to waste. Carcasses become a banquet for scavengers, vultures descending from the heavens to return life's remains back to the earth. High above, these masters of the sky patrol in circles between 500 and 1,500 meters. Their eyes, 3 to 4 times sharper than our own, sweep the savanna for the faintest signs. A staggering wildebeest, a fallen zebra, a sudden commotion of dust. With sight as their weapon, they read the savanna's every secret. When one vulture dips toward death, others, even miles away, follow in a chain of silent signals. Above the savanna, they mark the rhythm of survival, the eternal dance of predator and prey. When a predator abandons its kill, the savanna soon stirs with dark wings. Within an hour, dozens, sometimes hundreds, of vultures descend from the skies, each one drawn by the silent signal of circling companions above. Every feature of the vulture's body is sculpted by evolution for one purpose: scavenging. Their bald heads and bare necks slip easily into the ribcage of a carcass, staying free of gore. Hooked beaks rip through the toughest hides of buffalo and giraffe, while rough tongues scrape every last strand of muscle from bone. With long, sinuous necks, they reach deep into the body's core, liver, heart, intestines, where the richest nutrients lie. But it is their stomachs that hold the true secret. A cauldron of acid near pH 1, capable of destroying what would kill almost any other creature. Anthrax spores, rabies viruses, botulinum toxins, supported by a microbiome, evolved to neutralize decay itself. Vultures transform death into energy, preventing plague from sweeping the land. Across Africa, white-backed vultures and Ruppel's vultures reign as wide-ranging nomads of the skies. Their migrations follow the great herds of wildebeest and zebra. Guided by invisible rivers of scent and sight, GPS trackers have revealed individuals covering more than 1,800 kilometers in just 2 weeks, scouring dry riverbeds for the faintest chance of food. At the waterhole, competition explodes, not only among different vulture species, but with another shadow of death, the marabou stork. Towering a meter tall, armed with a bill over 30 centimeters long, the stork strides directly into the chaos, pushing aside rivals to claim its share. What vultures shred from the surface, marabou storks pry from within, snatching scraps hidden in water or clinging stubbornly to bone. Like vultures, their design speaks of survival. Bald heads, dagger-like bills, and a strange inflatable throat pouch, perhaps a tool for cooling or a signal in their harsh social world. Their menu is even broader. Fish, frogs, lizards, rodents, eggs, even garbage near human settlements. Opportunists to the core, they may take what the savanna offers, whether fresh, rotting, or still struggling. At the margins of the waterhole, marabou storks watch for weakness, a wounded bird, a struggling fish trapped in shrinking mud. With swift, spear-like strikes, they add fresh kills to their scavenged meals. Together, vultures and marabou storks embody nature's final act. They strip the savanna clean, recycling death into life, and ensuring that, in this harsh arena, nothing is ever wasted. Unlike the larger antelopes that creep forward with caution, Guinea fowl burst onto the scene with their trademark bustle and boundless energy. A flock is never small. 10, 20, sometimes more than 25, moving as one, a tightly knit social unit. Their voices never fall silent. Loud rhythmic calls ripple across the air, keeping the group connected, keeping danger at bay. This constant chatter is more than noise. It is a lifeline. Impalas, wildebeest, even zebras benefit from their vigilance. A single alarm call can ripple 150 meters across open terrain, triggering instant defenses in creatures far beyond their own kind. Though they have wings, they rarely waste them. When danger strikes, they run, fast, coordinated, relentless. At speeds of 35 kilometers an hour, weaving and darting unpredictably, they leave predators frustrated in the dust. Their eyes, tuned to the slightest flicker of motion, grant them a survival edge. Their nervous systems are sharpened for vigilance, their reactions near instant. But guinea fowl are more than survivors. They are shapers of the land. Feeding on seeds, bulbs, and swarms of insects, they cleanse the savanna. Opportunistic hunters, they will even seize lizards or young snakes when the chance arises. Around waterholes, they scour the muddy fringes, drawn to insect-rich zones. Careful never to wander too close to the treacherous water's edge where crocodiles lie in wait. They are everywhere. South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Angola. 28 to 30 million strong. Most roam outside protected areas, thriving in semi-arid scrub, grasslands, even farmland. As the dry season grips the land, they cluster around the last remaining waterholes. When the rains return, they scatter once more across the plains. Insects fall silent in their path. Plant debris is cleared. Feeding grounds are opened for smaller birds, lapwings, sand grouse, and countless others. The guinea fowl, noisy, restless, unyielding, are not just part of the savanna. They are its watchmen, its early warning system, its restless guardians. Midday on the African savanna, the sun scorches the earth and the shade of a tree becomes a rare treasure. It is at this unforgiving hour that giraffes begin their slow, deliberate approach to the waterhole. Unlike other grazers that prefer the safety of dawn or dusk, giraffes choose the heat of noon, a time when lions, leopards, and hyenas retreat to rest. It's a strategy, a gamble, and it works. Their towering height grants them a sweeping view of the plains, but to drink, they must bow, a giant folding itself down, a frame stretched and exposed. For those moments, balance is lost, and the most powerful advantage of the giraffe becomes its greatest weakness. They never linger. Each sit is fleeting, measured in seconds. Lower, drink, raise, scan, listen, lower again. In groups, one always stands guard, towering above the others, eyes sweeping the horizon. Height is their glory. Adult males can rise above 5.5 meters, weighing nearly 2,000 kilograms. Females, slightly smaller, still dwarf most creatures of the savanna. With their elongated necks and half-meter tongues, they pluck acacia leaves armored with thorns, reaching what no other herbivore dares. They do not thunder across the land like elephants, nor churn the dust like buffalo. Instead, they glide through the plains, leaving little trace. Gentle giants with a surprisingly light ecological touch. But even giants must drink carefully. Steep banks, murky pools, blocked views, these they avoid. They seek gentle slopes and open water, where their eyes can search wide and far. For danger does not only creep from the bushes. Sometimes it waits below the surface, silent, still, patient. The Nile crocodile. There are rare chilling accounts of crocodiles lunging at giraffes mid-drink, striking at the bowed posture of the giant. Most fail. These towering herbivores are cautious, deliberate, and calculated in every move. And so, each sip becomes a ritual of survival. Lower, drink, rise, scan. The rhythm of giants in a land where hesitation could mean death. So tell us, are you the kind who drinks in quick sips, always watching your surroundings? Or do you drink slowly, unbothered, as if nothing could ever catch you off guard? As the sun climbs higher, the savanna hardens under the weight of the heat. The air turns sharp, the ground bleached white, and the once calm waterhole transforms into chaos. Zebras, wildebeest, buffalo, herds upon herds press forward, churning the shallows into a muddy broth, heavy with the scent of sweat and dust. Beneath that murky veil, peace is an illusion. Here, patience rules. A ripple, a pair of nostrils, the glint of unblinking eyes, signs of the Nile crocodile. Some stretch over 5 meters in length, weighing more than 700 kilograms, and yet they barely disturb the water. Their scaled armor mirrors the mud, their stillness as complete as stone. They wait, hours, days, sometimes weeks, for a single mistake. One downward sit from an antelope, one moment of lowered guard, then an eruption, a lunge at 12 meters per second, the strike so sudden that sound itself seems too slow to catch it. Prey dragged under before it can cry out. This is no pursuit predator. The crocodile wins by patience, not speed, by silence, not force. Every movement is measured, every burst of violence calculated. But giants share the waterhole. Hippos slide in, their bulk sending shivers across the surface. There is no friendship here, but no open war either. The hippo is too massive to kill. The crocodile, too dangerous to ignore. They coexist like uneasy neighbors until the water shrinks. When the pool recedes to a fraction of its size, every square meter becomes a battlefield. The hippo charges, jaws gaping, tusks longer than a man's arm. The crocodile slips back into the depths, vanishing in a swirl of mud. The fight is avoided, for now. The Nile crocodile has survived like this for over 50 million years. Its strength lies not just in power, but in patience, adaptability, and a strategy honed over eons. To drink at the waterhole is to gamble with death. For above the surface, thirst rules all life, but below it, the silent trap waits. As the dry season stretches across the savanna, the earth splits under the burning sun. Herds of hippopotamus begin their slow march toward the last remaining waterholes. These are more than just places to drink. They are sanctuaries, lifelines in a world running desperately low on water. At midday, when the air blisters above 40 degrees, hippos sink beneath the surface, their bodies cooled and steadied around 36 degrees. With massive frames, thick hides, and almost no sweat glands, water is their only shield against the relentless sun. Each adult can weigh more than 1,500 kilograms, yet in water they move with surprising grace. Though unable to swim like fish, they glide forward by walking the riverbed, pushing through the mud like hulking, agile submarines. This lifestyle makes the shrinking waterhole the center of all activity during the dry season. But as space diminishes, tempers rise. Dominant males, fiercely territorial, clash with powerful shoves, bone-crunching collisions, and thunderous bellows that echo across the pool. Even a wide yawn becomes a challenge, a declaration of power. Marking territory is crucial. Hippos scatter dung with whirling tails, a unique system of communication, staking claims, warning rivals, even signaling reproductive status. As resources dwindle, these messages become more important than ever, helping avoid costly fights. Across Africa, hippos are tied to rivers, lakes, and floodplains, yet their range has shrunk in recent decades under the weight of habitat loss and human pressure. Today, only around 115,000 to 130,000 remain, with the largest populations in Zambia, Mozambique, Tanzania, Uganda, and South Africa. Zambia alone shelters more than 37,000 along its wetlands and river systems. Hippos are more than residents, they are engineers. As they move, they carve channels that redirect water and preserve soil moisture. Their waste, while sometimes depleting oxygen if concentrated, nourishes bottom-dwelling organisms and fish, enriching the food web. But their story does not end with the sun. When night falls and moonlight silvers the water, hippos leave their pools. They graze across the savanna, often traveling 5 to 10 kilometers under the cover of darkness before returning at dawn. Night brings new players. Lions, leopards, and hyenas stir, shadows circling the waterholes. They rarely come to drink. Instead, they hunt, skirting the edges to avoid detection while seeking prey drawn to the last precious water. Here, life and survival converge, bound by the shrinking pools of a dry season that tests every creature of the African wild. Perched on a sun-bleached branch, the African fish eagle waits like a sentinel. Its piercing yellow eyes track every movement below. Along the shoreline, a marabou stork struggles with a heavy fish, wings flapping as it drags its catch from the shallows. The commotion is a signal too loud to ignore. The eagle leans forward, wings unfolding into a vast span of 2.3 meters. With a sudden dive, it cuts through the air, wind screaming past its feathers. But its target is not the fish in the water. It is the thief that holds it. A shrill cry splits the air. The stork freezes, just for an instant. The fish slips free, tumbling onto the mud. That hesitation is all the eagle needs. Folding its wings tight, it plunges like an arrow. Talons lined with coarse spicules clamp down with lethal force. Only its feet brush the water before it surges upward again, silver prize glistening in its grasp. The African fish eagle is the emblem of Africa's waters, a close cousin of North America's bald eagle. Its kingdom stretches across sub-Saharan Africa, rivers like the Nile and Zambezi, lakes Victoria, Tanganyika, Malawi, and even man-made waterholes deep within reserves. Unlike true migrants, it follows the rhythm of seasons, shifting wherever fish remain abundant. Satellite tracking in 2024 recorded flights of nearly 200 kilometers between wetlands in Botswana and Zimbabwe, a relentless pursuit of food across a changing landscape. Here, it rules with a dual nature: predator of fish and water birds, scavenger of carrion, thief of other hunters' catches. This role not only shapes fish populations, but also ensures no meal is wasted. At the waterhole, its presence alone casts a shadow of fear. Every bird, from heron to stork, moves cautiously beneath its watchful gaze, for when the fish eagle screens overhead, the skies themselves belong to the hunter. As night surrenders to dawn, the last echoes of darkness fade across the waterhole. Predators melt into shadow, leaving behind a silence heavy with tension. A new day begins, one carved by hunger, thirst, and the razor edge of survival. The savanna has entered its most merciless season. Pools shrink, shorelines retreat, and shallow basins vanish in less than 2 weeks. Cracked mud and tangled tracks are all that remain where water once stood. Now, only the deepest water holes endure, magnetic lifelines pulling every creature, predator and prey alike, to the same fragile refuge. Here, boundaries blur. There is no safe hour, no protective distance. The water hole becomes nature's last supper, where desperate herds and deadly hunters gather shoulder to shoulder, each risking everything for a muddy sip. Cape buffalo are often among the first to arrive. Their vast herds roam the savanna, their massive, dark forms casting long shadows across the dust. Once numbering over 500,000, their ranks now dwindle, driven down by habitat loss, relentless hunting, and the pressures of a changing climate. Even so, they remain among Africa's most formidable survivors. Life in the herd is their greatest strength. From a few dozen to 1,000 strong, buffalo live by a strict hierarchy, reinforced not by blood, but by ritualized horn duels, clashing tests of strength that echo across the plains. At the waterhole, they drink with urgency, usually in the cool of morning or evening. When the dry season deepens, their world narrows to these shrinking pools, the last refuge against the relentless sun. They wallow in mud, coating their bodies in a natural armor against insects and heat. Once dried, it hardens into a shield, both protection and badge of survival. Young bulls clash in practice bouts, horns cracking like gunfire above the din of hooves and splashing water. But the waterhole is no sanctuary. It is a battlefield. Here, Cape buffalo face rivals as formidable as themselves. Rhinos meet them horn to horn in standoffs where size, strength, and will decide the victor. Yet the greatest challenge comes not from rhino, but from giants. When elephants arrive, buffalo withdraw. Against Earth's largest land mammal, even these titans know their limits. The savanna may bend them, test them, and drive them to the edge, but the Cape buffalo endures. For in the harshest season of all, survival favors the strong, and strength is written in their very bones. Elephants don't come to the water just to drink. Here, survival flows through every drop. The pools are places to cool their vast bodies, tend to their skin, and nurture the bonds that keep the herd united. An adult elephant can consume up to 300 liters a day, each sip drawn by its trunk, the most versatile tool in the animal kingdom. When the heat surges past 40 degrees Celsius, water becomes not a luxury, but a lifeline. These waterholes are more than just wells. They are spas, playgrounds, and gathering grounds. Adults bathe and spray one another. Young calves splash and tumble in the shallows. Bulls clash in harmless contests of strength. Every interaction weaves invisible threads of loyalty, resilience, and unity. When surface water dries, elephants dig into the cracked earth with tusks and feet, unearthing hidden reserves. In doing so, they provide not only for themselves, but also for countless other creatures of the savanna. For this, they are called the ecosystem engineers. Africa's giants are scattered across the continent, numbering around 415,000. But their story is shadowed by decline. Savanna elephants have fallen by 70% since the 1960s, forest elephants by a devastating 90%, victims of poaching and vanishing lands. Even the largest land animal cannot outrun humanity's reach. As the seasons shift, elephants march with the rains. In the dry months, they return faithfully to the most reliable sources. Some herds in Botswana travel more than 300 kilometers to reach the life-giving Chobe River, while others in Tanzania or Namibia push farther each day, battling exhaustion and heat. At the waterhole, elephants reign. Their dominance can be stern, even aggressive, but it ensures the survival of the herd. In a land where the ground splits open under the sun, water is more precious than gold. One day, a lone bull approaches. Waiting at the edge is a black rhino, muscles taut, horns gleaming. It refuses to drink, refuses to move. The elephant halts, exhales, and casts dust into the air, a warning. But the rhino stands its ground. Slowly, the elephant turns away, fading into the thicket. The stillness shatters. From the woodland comes the crack of branches, like drums of war. More bulls emerge, silent, immense, unstoppable. The rhino hesitates, then yields. Step by step, it retreats into the shadows, conceding the water to Africa's true giants. A black rhinoceros is not bound to any single waterhole. It comes only when the land grows quiet, often in the softer hours of the day. Their visits are brief, just enough time to drink their fill before fading back into the cover of the surrounding thickets. Under favorable conditions, a rhino can drink up to 35 liters of water a day. But when the land dries and rivers turn to dust, they can endure days without a single sip, drawing life instead from the moisture hidden in leaves and tender twigs. Around the water's edge, the mud tells their story. Large, round footprints mark the ground. Here, they wallow, rolling their massive frames so that every inch is coated in cool mud. Once dried, this layer becomes armor, shielding them against the blazing sun, biting insects, and relentless parasites. Each visit leaves behind a ring of dried mud, silent signatures of survival. Though solitary by nature, black rhinos still leave messages at the waterhole. Dung piles called middens and streams of sprayed urine form an invisible language. These signs carry meaning, a warning to rivals or an invitation to a mate. But with such strong ties to territory and a volatile temperament, clashes are almost inevitable. When two rhinos meet, a tense standoff can explode into a violent battle. Sharp horns strike with deadly force. Many contests end in wounds that scar for life, and some cost far more than that. In the burning heart of the dry season, one truth remains: water is worth fighting for, sometimes more valuable than life itself. As the dry season nears its end, the savanna sky begins to shift. Colors deepen and heavy clusters of cloud roll in, heavy yet full of promise. The first drops fall, gentle, scattered, almost hesitant. Then the rain strengthens, soaking the cracked earth in a fresh, life-giving flood. The waterholes transform before our eyes. Once shrunken pools of mud swell and overflow, expanding their reach. Some merge together, forming vast wetlands across the plains. The rains do more than restore. They cleanse. Sediments are flushed, oxygen surges, and the waters turn fresh and clean, ready to fuel life once again. Around the banks, green rises with astonishing speed. In just weeks, fresh grass carpets the land, shooting up to a meter high, soft, tender, rich in nutrients. For zebras, wildebeest, and buffalo, it is a banquet reborn. Insects swarm in the billions: dragonflies, mosquitoes, beetles, forming the foundation of a thriving food chain. And with them come the migrants, birds traveling thousands of kilometers from Europe, Central Asia, and the Middle East, finding here both a refuge and a nursery. Among them arrives one of Africa's most curious residents, nicknamed the Jesus bird. The African jacana appears to walk on water. Its impossibly long toes spread its weight across floating lily pads, allowing it to glide effortlessly over the surface. The rainy season is its kingdom. Shallow, plant-choked waters become both hunting ground and breeding territory. The jacana probes the leaves delicately, searching for hidden insects and tiny invertebrates. Each cluster of lilies becomes a miniature world, and the jacana a patient hunter. But what sets it apart most is its family life. Unlike most birds, here the female rules. Larger, more colorful, and fiercely territorial, she mates with several males, leading them each with the duty of care. The male builds a flimsy nest of floating plants, then incubates the eggs alone, balancing carefully on shifting waters. When the chicks hatch, they walk within hours. Yet the father's role is far from finished. He guards them, leads them, even shelters them beneath his wings in a remarkable act called wean brooding. Meanwhile, the female has already moved on, laying her legacy in multiple nests, spreading risk across the wetlands. It is a strategy shaped by evolution. The female ensures genetic breadth, while the male secures survival. Together, they weave resilience into the rhythm of the rains. After the African jacana dances lightly across the water's surface, the savanna shifts once more. Fresh streaks of rain carve silver paths through the land, feeding the waterholes. And in this new stillness, a shadow appears. The gray heron, tall, silent, and statuesque, standing nearly a meter high, with wings stretching almost 2 meters wide, it is a striking silhouette. Yet when it freezes, its silvery plumage and black crest melt into the ashen sky and pale shrubs. In an instant, predator becomes invisible. The rainy season is its ally. While the land softens and slows, the heron perfects its art of patience. It does not pursue, it waits. Balanced on one leg, motionless for minutes, sometimes hours. The water surface lies undisturbed, while below, fish, frogs, and insects drift unknowingly beneath the hunter's gaze. Then, sudden lightning. A spear of a beak flashes down, precise, lethal. Prey is pierced or snatched whole, swallowed before the ripples fade. This master of stillness is no picky eater. From fish and shrimp to crabs, even a stray mouse or chick, anything careless enough to come close will not escape. It is adaptability that gives the gray heron its edge, thriving in wetlands that appear and vanish with the rains. But survival is not its only mission. As the breeding season arrives, the solitary hunter becomes part of a colony. Dozens gather in towering heronries, nests built high in trees or shrubs above floodwaters. 3 to 5 pale blue eggs lie cradled within. For nearly 2 months, parents guard and feed the chicks until their wings are strong enough to carry them into the skies. The rainy season ensures plenty of food for these fragile lives. Across continents, the gray heron's domain stretches wide, from Europe to Asia and south into the wetlands of Africa. Some remain permanent guardians of deltas and marshes. Others migrate vast distances, 2,000 kilometers or more, chasing water, chasing life. From the Okavango Delta to Table Bay, wherever the rains gather, the gray heron waits, patient, silent, deadly. Though they share shades of gray in both name and plumage, the gray-crowned crane lives by an entirely different rhythm. As the first rains soak into the savanna and shallow pools return, these cranes descend with wings outstretched. Their golden crowns glint in the sunlight, a regal presence long celebrated as a symbol of grace and elegance in the wild. Unlike the silent heron, the crane is rarely still. It paces the water's edge, every step measured, every movement deliberate. With each firm stomp, the mud trembles, and hidden creatures scatter. Frogs leap, insects burst from cover, and in that instant, the crane's sharp beak strikes with precision. Swift, certain, a hunter that stirs life from the earth itself. Their diet is broad and opportunistic. Grasshoppers, lizards, seeds, even the occasional egg. Yet for the crane, survival is not just about the hunt. It is about connection. On the flooded plains, pairs and small family groups gather. They sit from shallow pools, their slender silhouettes reflected in the sunlit water. Then comes the call, a resonant trumpet that echoes far across the savanna. A sound both primal and haunting, a voice of the land itself. And with or without breeding season, the dance begins. A ritual of leaps and bows, wings flared wide like living ballet. They spin, toss twigs into the air, and sway in perfect synchrony. These dances are not mere displays. They are the language of loyalty, strengthening bonds between lifelong partners. Though they are not long-distance migrants, the gray-crowned cranes follow the rains, moving with the seasons in search of water and green growth. From Uganda and Rwanda to Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa, they inhabit wetlands and floodplains, even fields tilled by human hands. So iconic is their beauty that they stand at the heart of Uganda's flag, a national emblem of composure, elegance, and pride. Across the Great Lakes region, they are woven into song, dance, and festival, creatures of both wilderness and culture. In the wild, they may live up to 25 years, under care, even 40. But their legacy lies not in their years, but in their presence, their dance, their call, their crown of gold against the evening sky. In the fading light, as a pair sways together over shimmering water, it is easy to believe that, for a moment, uncertainty has no place here. Across the vast Kavango-Zambezi ecological corridor, lions move like shadows, silently attuned to every shift in the steps of their prey. When the rains scatter African buffalo across woodlands and flooded grasslands, a lion's range may expand to more than 700 square kilometers. But in the dry months, as water becomes scarce and prey gathers near floodplains and waterholes, their range contracts, sometimes to little more than 100. Data from across Africa shows a clear pattern. The presence of prey shapes as much as 3/4 of the space lions use, followed by the pull of water itself. In Namibia's Etosha National Park, tracking studies reveal how lions keep close to waterholes for hunting opportunities, yet instinctively avoid the busiest tourist routes during the driest times of year. In the Serengeti Mara, their movements echo the great herds of buffalo, but lions do not simply follow. Instead, they position themselves with care, choosing riverbanks, gullies, and koppies where terrain offers the perfect cover for an ambush. As the midday sun beats down on golden grass, the heavy tread of buffalo shakes the ground. From a distance, flat shapes merge with the scrub, lionesses, the pride's principal hunters. They fan out, silent and deliberate, moving against the wind so no scent betrays their approach. 2 lionesses reveal themselves on the flank, steering the herd towards the waiting ambush. A sudden burst shatters the stillness. Dust erupts as powerful claws seize a flank. One lioness swings forward, jaws clamping the throat. Another grips the muzzle, cutting the flow of air. Under the weight of the pride, the buffalo's strength ebbs. Behind them, a male lion holds his ground, mane thick, shoulders broad. He seldom leads the hunt, but his presence is vital, a living shield against horns and rivals alike. His roar, low and resonant, carries for 8 kilometers, a declaration of territory and a bond among pride members. Yet even apex predators are bound by limits. Too little prey, or water too far beyond reach, brings hunger, conflict, and decline. Lions do not chase the great migrations across the continent. Instead, they remain anchored to their territories, flexible, expanding and contracting their range with the seasons, always attuned to the movements of their quarry. This is survival, written in every hoofprint, every shadow, and every roar that rolls across the savannah. Like the common eland, the marabou stork is never still. But while the eland follows the green flush of fresh grass, the marabou seeks out the remains of the less fortunate. Free from the rigid calendar of migration, it drifts with the shifting tides of food and water, an explorer guided by the scent of death itself. They are found across sub-Saharan Africa, from Zambia's swampy Kafue Plains and Botswana's Okavango Delta, to the dry semi-deserts of northern Kenya and the Ngorongoro region of Tanzania. The marabou stork carries the air of a funeral attendant. Dark gray-black feathers drape like a tattered cloak. A bald head and bare neck, mottled with purple veins, frame a deep red throat pouch that hangs loose, giving the bird its grim and unmistakable presence. When floodplain waters recede after the rains, fish, frogs, and insects emerge from the mud, creating an ideal feeding ground. But when the land dries, or sudden floods disrupt the balance, the marabou will rise on broad wings and travel hundreds of kilometers in search of its next meal. Sometimes, the journey leads to newly formed inland lakes, or to mass carcass sites left behind by outbreaks of disease. This adaptability is matched by a body built for endurance, a wingspan of nearly 3 meters, a light frame, and the mastery of thermal soaring that rivals the vultures. With little energy spent, they can scan vast feeding territories each day. Yet what sets the marabou apart is its fluid place between the wild and the human world. When floodplains dry, predators move on, and carcasses vanish under the sun, the storks turn to the refuse of cities. The sprawling dumps of Kampala, Nairobi, and Lusaka offer endless organic waste and far less competition than the wilderness. No other stork in Africa has blurred the line between wild and urban life so completely. If the marabou stork, with its ashen plumage and vulture-like head, embodies the image of a rough scavenger, then the lesser flamingo is its perfect contrast, slender, radiant pink, and poised like a dancer upon the water. In places where the sun scorches pale mineral-rich lakes and salt crust hardens across the mud, the world's most numerous flamingo undertakes mysterious migrations. Their pursuit is singular: the bloom of Spirulina cyanobacteria, the near-exclusive food source that sustains their vast flocks. With an estimated 2.2 to 3.2 million adults, the lesser flamingo is concentrated mainly in East and Southern Africa, with great gatherings at Lake Bogoria, Lake Natron, Lake Nakuru, the Etosha Pan, and Makgadikgadi. They seek out soda lakes of extreme alkalinity, with pH levels rising as high as 11. Inhospitable to most forms of life, these harsh waters are a paradise for spirulina. But when conditions change, when rains dilute the salts, when microbes compete, or when food dwindles, the flamingos depart almost in unison. Their journeys can span dozens, sometimes hundreds of kilometers, often fleeing under the cover of night, when the air is cooler and predators like the African fish eagle are at rest. From above, they search for signs, shifting bands of turquoise and jade green, the unmistakable trace of cyanobacteria. Unlike scavengers, they rely not on scent, but on sight and memory, recalling the shallow lakes that once turned rich in color after storms or as waters receded. This knowledge, etched across generations, acts like hidden coordinates. When a few pioneers land and begin to filter the water with their down-curved bills, the flock follows, settling on the lake's fringes where winds concentrate the algae into dense ribbons. Together, bursts sweep the surface into swirling patterns of pink, transforming instinct and memory into a living canvas of abundance. This is where zebras display their remarkable defenses, relying on both camouflage and coordinated evasion. At first glance, their bold black and white stripes may seem like a mere aesthetic marvel of nature. However, these patterns serve as a sophisticated survival strategy. Under the harsh savanna sunlight, the stripes create a dazzling visual effect that confuses predators. This optical illusion makes it difficult for hunters to single out individual zebras, especially when they move in tightly packed herds. A 2023 study published in Nature Communications confirmed that this dazzle effect disrupts a predator's focus, blurring their perception and making their targets appear elusive. In places like Kruger National Park, such tactics play out in dramatic encounters. The stripes of a zebra serve more than just camouflage. They also play a crucial role in thermoregulation. In the blistering heat, where temperatures can soar past 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the dry season, their black stripes absorb heat while the white ones reflect sunlight. This contrast generates microconvection currents that help cool their bodies, an essential adaptation for endurance in the unforgiving savanna. Perhaps even more fascinating is the stripe's role in warding off blood-sucking insects. Studies published in 2023 revealed that the light reflections from the zebra's coat disorient biting flies, such as tsetse flies and horseflies, making it difficult for them to land. By reducing insect attacks, zebras not only avoid irritation, but also decrease their risk of contracting deadly diseases spread by these pests. Each zebra stripe pattern is unique, much like human fingerprints, allowing individuals to recognize one another. In a world where herd unity is key to survival, these distinct patterns help strengthen social bonds and improve collective defense. For herbivores like zebras, wildebeests, and gazelles, survival isn't just about speed or strength. It's about an intricate web of evolutionary adaptations, an intelligent, sophisticated system of defenses perfectly suited to their migratory, herd-based way of life. The African savanna, a land of unforgiving beauty, demands that life constantly evolves. Here, survival is relentless, and herbivores face the threat of predators every day. Yet they are not defenseless. Millions of years of natural selection have sharpened their instincts and abilities, equipping them with sophisticated strategies to endure the savanna's harsh realities. This vast landscape, with its extreme conditions, has become nature's ultimate testing ground. Every skill, from sheer speed to sharp intelligence and formidable horns, has been honed to perfection in the struggle for survival. But today, a new and far greater challenge looms, not from lions or the lightning-fast cheetahs, but from human hands. Climate change and rising temperatures are pushing the savanna to its limits. Already an arid land, it is becoming even more unforgiving. Research from the African Climate Research Institute in 2023 reveals that average temperatures have increased by 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit over the past 3 decades. Dry seasons are stretching longer, rivers are vanishing, and once thriving oases, like the Mara River, are now fragile, shrinking streams. With water sources dwindling, herds must travel ever greater distances, straining their endurance and sparking fierce conflicts between rival groups. Habitat loss casts another dark shadow over the savanna. Expanding agriculture is rapidly swallowing the once vast grasslands. According to the World Conservation Monitoring Center in 2024, 25% of wildlife habitats have already been lost. Crucial migration corridors, lifelines for wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles, are being severed by human development, forcing animals to navigate dangerous new paths, riddled with obstacles and threats. As resources become scarcer, clashes between wildlife and humans are intensifying. Desperate elephants, driven by thirst and hunger, trample crops, igniting anger among local communities. The African Wildlife-Human Conflict Journal reports a 15% rise in such encounters in 2024. These conflicts sometimes turn deadly, with elephants being killed in retaliation, deepening cycles of animosity and resentment. Poaching remains another looming menace. The demand for rhino horns and elephant tusks continues to fuel the illegal wildlife trade, driving species toward the brink of extinction. As the shadow of destruction lengthens over the savanna, the balance of this ancient ecosystem teeters dangerously, leaving the fate of its inhabitants hanging in uncertainty. These passages of land, known as migration corridors, are the lifelines of Africa's ecosystems. They are not merely pathways that animals tread. They are living threads, weaving together fragmented habitats. They allow wildlife to feed, to breed, to seek shelter, and to escape drought, wildfire, or human encroachment. Corridors preserve genetic strength, ecological balance, and resilience in the face of climate change. When such links are severed, by roads, by farms, by fences, the effects ripple outward. Populations fragment, diversity declines, conflict with people rises, and in time, local herds may vanish altogether. To protect a corridor is to protect more than a path. It is to safeguard the fabric of the savanna itself, an ancient network that has carried the flow of life for millions of years. They may not thunder with the spectacle of the Serengeti's Great Migration, yet these quieter routes are no less vital. They are the hidden arteries of the continent, channels through which Africa breathes. You can support projects that restore migration routes, choose eco-tours that respect natural limits, and reduce consumption of products that place pressure on the environment. Share scientific knowledge to raise awareness, because when we protect the pathways of wildebeest, zebra, and elephant, we are also safeguarding the lifelines of people. Turn your love for nature into action so that the rhythm of the wild can echo across generations. And if you've ever witnessed one of Africa's great migration corridors on safari, share your stories in the comments below. Your experiences can inspire others, energize conservation efforts, and help protect rare wildlife while preserving ecosystems for the future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to join us on more extraordinary adventures.